Mortal Kombat month continues with with a video about one of my favorite one of my favorite bosses period in Mortal Kombat, and that's Kintaro. But anyway, hello, this is Mr. Hornsby 83. This is the Mr. Hornsby 83 show. And before I start talking about Kintaro, I want to say I hope everybody had a great Father's Day yesterday. And I hope a lot of the kids that have fathers that are out there busting their tails to be good fathers. Hopefully all those kids appreciated their father. But, anyway, also, I got a lot of flack from people Saturday for, one, I wish people Happy Father's Day a day early, like my father, or my biological dad, and Jane. Jane didn't give me no flack, but I got flack because I put up my post about Father's Day the day before. Everybody's like, well, it's tomorrow. And, the reason why I did that is because when I looked at my calendar to see what day Father's Day was, I didn't realize that I misread it. I thought that Sunday was Saturday, and, so I thought last Saturday was the 15th, or this past Saturday, so I got flack for that from a couple people. But they did wish me Happy Father's Day in return, so, yeah. But anyway, and a lot of people still commented on it, so, hey. Everybody makes mistakes, and I said, well, you know what, yeah, so it's a day early, so sue me. But anyway, let's get into my video talking about why I think Kintaro is one of those bosses that got underutilized in the Mortal Kombat franchise. Now, I remember way back when, in, 1993, we had Mortal Kombat 2 come out. Or was it 94? 1994. I don't know, it might have been 3, because 2's when, 92 is when the first Mortal Kombat came out. But back in 1993, we got Mortal Kombat 2. With that, we had some new characters, a new boss, and a new four-armed sub-boss, which was Kintaro. And I remember, and I don't know, I had a friend named Ray Ratcliffe. He read all the frickin' Nintendo-powered book magazines and all that stuff. And I think it was him that said that Kintaro was the father of Goro, and because supposedly they killed Goro in the first game, Kintaro wanted revenge for the death of his son. That's what I was told. I don't know if it was Ray that told me or if it was someone else who was a Mortal Kombat fan that told me that Kintaro was the dad of Goro. Then we find out in later games he's really not the father of Goro. He's just another member of the Shokan, and I think comic books have also done that stuff too. But I remember that story vividly of someone telling me that Kintaro is the father of Goro. But anyway, get into the reasons why Kintaro was underutilized. Now, in Mortal Kombat 2, I think Kintaro is one of the hardest sub-bosses in the Mortal Kombat game. And I'll tell you what, he's almost up there with Moloch. And if y'all seen a few weeks ago my playthrough of Deadly Alliance, you'll know what I'm talking about. But Kintaro, but then people's like, well, if you do the drum kick, that'll beat him, And I always tried doing that. I'd go through everybody, except for when I'd get to the second or third person away from Jade. Then the game would pick up difficulty to me, is when you got right there before, right there before the question mark. That's when the game started really getting difficult, because then you have to do this thing, or I used to have to do this thing where I'd have to do the uppercut a little early to hit them with it, and that's how I'd always beat people. But anyway, and then after you get past Shang Tsung, you got Kintaro. And I tried the jump kick thing on Kintaro. And he still would freaking beat me. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm doing a jump kick. Like everybody said, do the jump kick thing, that'll beat him. And I never beat him. And I never beat that freaking game. I never beat Mortal Kombat 2 until I was an adult. Probably in my 30s. That's how freaking difficult that game has been. Even now, I still have trouble beating it. Yeah, I've beaten it a few more times. I have to take my glasses off for a minute. Yeah, I've beaten it a few more times since then, but the game's still difficult as hell. I mean, it's probably the most difficult Mortal Kombat game out of all the Mortal Kombat games. I know 9 was pretty difficult, but the rest of them have been not as difficult as those. Well, and if you get the 64 version of Trilogy, that was difficult, but now that I've beaten that game and I beat every hill on that game, it's not as difficult as it used to be. But, yeah, Kintaro was a very tough boss. And then after Mortal Kombat 2, we did not see Kintaro again until, I believe it was Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. Yeah, Kintaro. No, actually, we saw Kintaro in the PlayStation version of Trilogy, which I have on PlayStation. He was in there. You could use him as a boss to fight through the tower. And when it gets to the point where it's just like, oh, we're just going to make the game more difficult now, I just go with frickin' Kintaro, just kick people halfway across the frickin' screen with Kintaro. One problem, though, is he can bull rush through Motaro, but he's too big and lunky to frickin' take on Shang Tsung, so I usually have to change my character when I get this, or not Shang Tsung, Shao Kahn. So I have to change my character when I get to Shao Kahn. But yeah, I mean, Kintaro, first of all, he's like a cooler look than Goro. I don't care what anybody says. I like Kintaro's look better, not the frickin' Armageddon look and that, but I like Kintaro's look better than I did Goro's in the first game. I was like, wow, Kintaro looks way cooler than Goro. So I thought for 2, but then again, I would frickin' use Scorpion and spam the frickin' spear to beat Goro, so yeah. You can't spam the spear against frickin' Kintaro, because he's gonna make you pay for that. But anyway, it's kind of like Shao Kahn, you know, at a certain point in the game, and a certain hill, he frickin', you can't spam a certain thing, because he starts spamming stuff. But anyway. And the fact that we didn't get this character again until Shaolin Monks is ridiculous because, yeah, well, that was the next time we got him. It was after Trilogy on PlayStation version. We had him in Shaolin Monks, which he looked just like he did in Mortal Kombat 2 and Mortal Kombat Trilogy for PlayStation. But I think like if I'm not mistaken, I think Sega Saturn version in that, if there is a Saturn version of Trilogy, I think that one has Kintaro in that too. I don't know how many versions they put out of Trilogy. 64 version is like probably the hardest version I played of that. Because the PlayStation version is really easy, especially after I pick Kintaro. It's like, push, push, push. Anyway, just kicking away at them, like, boom, they go flying across the screen, they come running at you again, boom, kick them across the screen, come running at you again, boom, kick them across the screen. Anyway, that's always my strategy with Kintaro to beat everybody, including the endurance match. But, yeah, we don't get him again until Shaolin Monks, where you fight him right before you fight Shao Kahn at the end, because I've only beaten that game, like, once. Which I'm going to say that's the second hardest game to beat, especially if you're playing by yourself. The last time I played it, me and my cousin Kyle played it, stayed up all night, played the frickin' game and beat it. But you get Kintaro, then you get the battle with frickin' Shao Kahn. And like I said, we don't see, and then after Shaolin Monks, you don't see him again until Armageddon. And if you see it in Mortal Kombat 3, he gets replaced by Motaro. And I'm like, you know what? Kintaro is better than Motaro. Motaro was a tough boss too. But once you figured out the kicking thing worked better on Motaro than it did Kintaro. But, But lately, the way I beat freaking Motaro is like I'll just do the freaking kick combo. You jump up, kick him in the head, then you drop down and you do the kick combo. That's the way I figured out how to beat Motaro, is just a jump kick combo. But you can't do it on the normal version of 3. But yeah. The kick combo always works on Motaro. But Ultimate and Trilogy and all that, you can just use the kick combo on Motaro and he's done. Kintaro, no matter what I try, no matter how old I get, he's still tough for me to beat here and there. Yeah, I've done the Sub-Zero thing to beat him too. So yeah, I've done the Sub-Zero thing where you freeze him, push him against the wall, just keep spamming the punch button on him. But I can't believe that Shao Kahn went from Kintaro to Motaro. Now, we did get Shiva in Mortal Kombat 3 and Ultimate and all that, and she had a good design to her too. But I always liked Kintaro's, and then when they changed it in Armageddon, I'm like, oh my god, he looks goofy and stupid now. Why'd they change him looking like that? And then, like I said, I think in Armageddon, you know, after all these years of thinking, like, well, Kintaro is the father of Goro. Apparently, they know avoid that in Armageddon, because I think it's Armageddon where you fight Kintaro and Goro at the same time in story mode. And I never made it that far because I didn't care too much for Armageddon story mode this time around. I cared about Shujiko's story mode and freaking Deception, because he was pretty much the main freaking character. Well, he was the main character. But I didn't give a crap about freaking finishing Armageddon. And Armageddon's freaking conquest is a little bit tougher than Deception's. But at least with Armageddon, all you had to do was just freaking train to get the power to beat the Dragon King. Conquest, you gotta do stuff like avoiding these crappy freaking blades that could cut your head off at any time and all that. So I never went any further, but I think it was my brother and my cousin Brandon. I seen them playing Mortal Kombat Armageddon story mode or conquest mode, and freaking I seen where they fought Kintaro and Motaro. And I think on my other Xbox I had, original Xbox, not Xbox One or 360 or any of that. The original one, which, you know, you saw me play Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance on a few weeks ago. And I'll play Deception on it too, if y'all choose Deception. Which I'll talk about that choice here when I'm finished talking about Kintaro. But anyway, so yeah, you get to fight Kintaro. And I, you know, like I said, I think he went from being more powerful than Goro to being just a rank under Goro and teaming up with Goro in Armageddon. And then after that, actually I think he was in the Mortal Kombat 9, because I think you fight him before Shao Kahn. Yeah. Because, like, after you beat him, it, like, shows him freaking Liu Kang coming, ripping off the arms and kicking the crap out of him and all that stuff. Or was it Kung Lao? I don't know. I need to go back playing 9. I ain't played 9 since I originally played it. When it first came out on PlayStation 3, but I don't have PlayStation 3 anymore, so, yeah. I don't know. That's probably why people want 9 in the arcade, or in the freaking Legacy collection, because, you know, that game is hard to get now these days. You can't find it unless you buy it at a game store. But then you have to go buy a PlayStation 3 or not. They've never put it in an Xbox store or the PlayStation store since the game came out. One of my favorite things to do on that game, though, was I got to see Kratos take on Quan Chi. Yeah, that was one of the first things I did. I'm like, you know, they look so much alike. I wonder if either one of them say anything about how much they look alike. But that never happened. The Quan Chi look from Deadly Alliance, Deception, and frickin' Armageddon. And it was in Mortal Kombat vs. DC, and he had to look at 9. And then he changed his look in frickin' X. And then his look was different in Mortal Kombat 1. Which Quan Chi's the next character I'm going to talk about. Either next video I talk about this, which will probably be next year. I'll probably do like a video like this like once every year. for Mortal Kombat month instead of, putting it all out. But Kintaro, like I said, was such a great character. And then you throw him aside for Motaro, which I didn't care too much for Motaro. We didn't even get a live action version of Kintaro. So I'm hoping this new Mortal Kombat movie coming out this year, we're going to see Kintaro. But Kintaro was a very powerful villain. Well, very powerful underboss. He looked cooler than Goro. He looked cooler than Shiva. He's way cooler than, he's way powerful, it seems like he's more powerful than freaking Motaro. But, but if you finish telling him, once you see that Liu Kang and Kung Lao kill him or whatever, and Shao Kahn's like, well, now you gotta fight me. And then, like, you get freaking that battle. That battle was pretty tough. Then again, every Shao Kahn battle was very tough. But anyway, yeah. I mean, why push him aside? Why did Goro get another chance to be the underboss in Mortal Kombat 4, but Kintaro got no love at all after freaking Mortal Kombat 2? And then the other time you see him is when he's teaming with freaking Goro in Armageddon story mode. And I think it's Armageddon story mode. And then you get him again in 9. But even then, in 9, he's not the underboss. You're fighting someone else. I think it's Goro. Yeah, you're fighting Goro as the underboss in 9 when you do a tower. Why does my man Kintaro not get any respect? I mean, come on now. He's the cooler of the four-arm characters they've made in Mortal Kombat. Freaking Kintaro is the man. He freaking brutalizes everybody. He made a lot of people eat a lot of quarters in the arcades. And he was even harder to beat on the console ports of the freaking game. So, yeah, why is my man Kintaro not getting any love from... Didn't get no love from NetherRealm and didn't get no freaking love from Midway either. Come on now. Kintaro should have been challenging Shao Kahn to be the new emperor. But that's not the case. Which, by the way, that's another video I'll do a video on. It's talking about Kodo Khan and that as well. Because I like Kodo Khan, just like I like Kintaro. And I think Kintaro's the best of the four-arm characters. He's better than Goro, he's better than Shiva. And I like him better than I like Motaro from the Mortal Kombat 3 and that. But dude just gets buried and don't get to do nothing after being the toughest underboss in Mortal Kombat history. And you're just like, and everybody just get, and I don't even see any of the fans give any love to Kintaro. It's always freaking Goro. Like, oh yeah, Goro's the best. Oh, we love Goro. Yeah, la 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 la. I like Kintaro. And Kintaro should have got more respect in all these Mortal Kombat games. He should have still been the underboss in Mortal Kombat 3. Not freaking Motaro. It should have been Kintaro again. Or have him work, or have him be unhappy with Shao Kahn, casting him aside from Motaro, and then have him go work for frickin' Shinnok. But instead, it's frickin' Goro. What's with all the love for Goro, man? Although, you know what? I can't wait to see what McFarlane does with the Mortal Kombat figures when he starts making villains like Motaro, Kintaro, Goro, excuse me, and all the other characters he's making for this. And I can't wait to see I can't wait to see a really good Quan Chi figure. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I'll do. Every once a year I'll talk about a character I think got underutilized. And this year it's Kintaro, because this is the biggest pet peeve I have with Mortal Kombat games, that Kintaro just gets thrown to the side, gets buried, and all that crap for characters like Motaro and Goro and Shiva and all that stuff, man. Come on now. Kintaro deserves better than that, man. Dude is hard as hell to beat on the game, no matter what version of the game you play, if you're lucky enough to get to him. Oh, well, not lucky enough. If you're lucky enough and good enough to get the kintaro, I'd say he's somewhat tougher than Shao Kahn. Because, you know, at least with Shao Kahn, if you like Liu Kang, you just do the freaking low fireball and all that stuff. Yeah, with Kintaro, you gotta freaking come up with a major league strategy to beat that dude. And yeah, you can use the freaking Sub-Zero Frieza thing and just punch him and all that, but that, you know, that didn't always work either, because I tested it numerous times, because I played Mortal Kombat 2 a lot over the years. Even now as an adult, I still play Mortal Kombat 2 a lot, and, you know, I still have trouble with it. And I've done the Sub-Zero Freeze thing. I beat him once with it. Haven't had a chance to beat him with it again. But, yeah. Anyway, let me know your guys' thoughts on Kintaro. Do you think he's getting disrespected? Do you think he got disrespected by Midway and NetherRealm? I think so. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Also, yeah. And I announced this on the live stream Friday, too. I said, oh, yeah. I forgot. King of the Figures is the 27th, so I ain't gonna be able to do Deception and Mortal Kombat 2 in the Final Friday, because the Final Friday is gonna be King of the Figures. So let me know what you guys want me to do a playthrough of this Friday. Do you want me to do a playthrough of Mortal Kombat 2, or do you want me to do a playthrough of Mortal Kombat Deception? Let me know in the comments. And the version of Mortal Kombat 2 I play, because my Sega version doesn't work, but I'll have to get a new Sega version. But I do, the Super Nintendo one does work. And anyway, the Super Nintendo one's the better one anyway, out of Mortal Kombat 2, I think. But yeah, let me know if you guys want me to play Mortal Kombat 2 for the SNES, or let me know if you want me to play Mortal Kombat Deception this Friday. You can go back, watch the live stream that I did Friday, comment on that, or you can comment on this video, or you can comment on the video tomorrow. Well, tomorrow's going to be Final Build the King of the Figures. Or you can comment on the video I'm doing Wednesday, where I'll be talking about prequels for games and movies. Because there's some games out there that have been prequels that I don't think anybody's ever talked about. Movies and I'll even talk about a show that is a prequel to a movie franchise. But anyway, yeah. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about Kintaro. Do you like him better than Goro? I certainly like Kintaro better than Goro and Shiva. And let me know which one you want to see me play this Friday. 2 for NES, SNES, or Mortal Kombat Deception. Anyway, that'll do it. Catch you guys later. Don't forget to check out my Facebook fan page, Mr. 183 Show. You can also comment on the post I put up yesterday on which one you want to see me play, because I put that in there. But anyway, and follow my Facebook business page, Trajan Toys. And anyway, that'll do it. Catch you guys later, and peace out.